everyone, this is Devi. Welcome to the winter edition of Teach Me Anything Under 10 Minutes on ArHS. We have 4 amazing guests, 4 amazing topics. Hopefully those topics will be helpful for you on your daily work. Share with your friends, share with your colleagues, and keep learning every day.
Hi, welcome to Hackflix. My name is Luuk and I'm going to teach you something about IT recruitment. So let's get into it, right?
Hey Luuk, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Let's do this.
All right, so we were talking about IT recruitment and how you should do it the right way.
The right way.
The right way.
Okay.
Sounds a bit pretentious. But anyway, I think it's important to dive into some parts why things are going wrong mostly right now. So when you're talking about recruitment, there are 2 things you hear quite often. So the first one being, it's getting more and more difficult to find the right people with the right talents that you need, right? And then the second one is recruiters are bad and I wish they'd all get shot into the sun. So I kind of want to get into both of those points before we get into how you can do it in a slightly different way.
Okay.
So the first one being, it's very difficult to find the right people. I don't understand that, really, because I think today there hasn't been an easier time to find the right people as there is now. You know when it was really difficult? In the 80s.
Okay.
Because you know how you had to find people back then?
Yeah, you had to go and at school and stuff like that to directly work in the classroom or
Yeah. You had like very few options to recruit the people that you needed. So a lot of them, they relied on these newspaper ads, right?
Yeah, indeed.
And newspaper ads were really, really expensive. So your average newspaper ad was just this with job title, and then maybe Excel experience needed or something, right?
Yeah.
And then a number. And this is my number. I'm not gonna finish it. And that's really it. And then you just prayed somebody would just call you and they were actually a fit, right? So that was really hard. Or you could wait outside a company of which you knew there were some really good people and just follow them home or into the bar and then just accidentally sit next to them, right?
Okay.
But then in the 90s, job boards came into existence, like Monster. I think started in the 90s. And then in the zeros, you already have LinkedIn. I think 2004.
2004, yeah.
So it progressively became easier to find the right people, right? So now you have things like Instagram and Facebook even, or LinkedIn, GitHub, Stack Overflow, or even Medium. There's tons of people out there with the talents that you need to grow your business. There's plenty of them, and they're more than you'll ever need. So finding the right people getting harder and harder, I don't understand it. What's really difficult, however, is engaging the right people.
Okay.
Right?
So finding is easy.
Finding is super easy.
Yeah. Engaging with them, okay.
That's a whole nother ballgame. So when you go back to the 80s and the newspaper ads, you have these really small newspaper ads, right? Why are they so short, you know?
Yeah, it was expensive too.
Right.
Yeah.
Advertising space is super expensive. So
Yes.
I looked up what this little tidbit would cost in a average newspaper in the Netherlands. It's €1,800 for one day.
Wow.
Quite a lot of money, right? Because you pay per character, really. However, when those job boards start to come up and social media websites, like the cost to advertise these job ads, they decrease and decrease. So what happened is those job descriptions got bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So now they look like this: job title, and then requirements, and then this is what you're going to be doing, and this is what we offer, right?
Yeah.
It's not very enticing to read, right? And then
No.
a lot of people, what they really dislike from a lot of recruiters nowadays, and that is that they keep posting these types of job ads, and they pester you with it, and they'll say stuff like, "Does this sound like you?" right? Like, no, it doesn't sound like me. It sounds like a PC parts picker list or something. I don't know. Or it says, are you or do you know someone who? And then that it's very low effort, and really they're just being an outdated newspaper.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the main part of why they're focusing on like the quick overview is a lot of them think that the job description or the job title or like whatever you want to call it, that's the first point of contact for a new colleague. But that's really not the case anymore, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we also don't like reading those, because they're just boring. So we are doing things a bit differently. And if you look at our careers page and you look at the job descriptions, you'll not find any requirements. Because I'm looking for senior positions, and I think that if I'm looking for a senior data engineer, he probably knows what a data engineer is supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And we can talk a little bit about the stuff that we're using, so he gets a sense of what he needs. But in general, like the lists are boring.
Boring, yeah.
And
I agree with you.
Yeah, and for us also, like the job description is not the first point of contact, but I'm concerned. It's the last one. So what comes before, right? So if you look at something called inbound marketing.
Inbound marketing, yeah.
You have 3 phases in inbound marketing. Do you know them?
No.
So you have awareness.
Awareness, okay.
Then 2 would be consideration. And 3 would be decision. Now, if you look at the average recruiting activity, then all 3 stages would be a job ad, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really weird for me. Like the decision phase comes from the job ad, or maybe the job ad is even afterwards because they decide they want to join a company, so they'll start to read a job ad from us.
Yeah.
Maybe it's even after, right? But we need some content for the awareness and consideration phases. And the beauty of being aware of this situation is that you can produce a lot of content that's fun to read and is very authentic to your company. So it has to be authentic to your company. It's not something you can just start make up, right? So in our case, 2 things are very important to us. First one being that we want to be the authority in our field, and which for us means that we want to have the highest level of knowledge and quality in the marketing in which we are active, which is data science and data engineering in this case. And then another very important part of us is sharing knowledge.
Yeah.
Now those 2 things combined can create a ton of content.
Yeah,
So
indeed.
if you are right now, if you're a bit puzzling about how to create data pipelines in Apache Airflow, and you're start to look it up, you'll find a technical blog post by us,
Yeah.
and even a book that we're writing. So that's great content, but also it can be anything really. So also every 4 weeks we have these hackathons. So everybody's at the office, but it's really a day off. You cannot work for clients. You just do whatever you want, which can be an open source project or maybe develop a new training course or whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just start taking some pictures. And we don't post for the pictures. It's going to be an authentic situation of what it's like to actually be in a company, right? Now, when you start creating all these different kinds of content and start posting them on LinkedIn, people will start reading them, find them organically because they are having difficulty with, for example, Apache Airflow or anything else for that matter, and they'll find our blog. They'll start to be interested and be aware of our company, right?
Yeah.
So, and it can get really far. So, for example, if you now look at the documentation for Jupyter Notebooks, you'll find our logo in the actual manual descriptions. So there comes the awareness, and then the consideration comes from showing people the types of projects that we do, for example, and you can really give them reasons to consider us. So if you look at, for example, data engineers, why would they want to work somewhere? It boils down to a couple of the same things we discovered.
Yeah.
For example, working with open source technology or having really large scope in projects. And that's all stuff you can bring together in a story, which is going to be your new job description. So no more lists, right?
Yeah.
So to give you like an example of the scope that's going to be interesting for somebody is, for example, that we say in our job ad that we've predicted the daily demand of millions of loaves of bread in the Netherlands. That immediately lets you know the scope of a project.
Yeah.
And this is, for example, great for a data scientist or a data
That's-
engineer, but if it's
that's
more of
perfect.
a analytics
It
translator...
speaks volume to them right away.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
They immediately know what's expected and what they can expect when they join us. And all these things just culminates in a job ad that reads as a story and reaffirms their assumptions that they've made about what it's like to work for us and why they should be working for us. And at that point, they'll either apply themselves or just view our career page. And I've been a bit nifty with that as well. So we've got this thing called HubSpot, and if you ever download something from our website and leave your data, because it's free, but you pay with your data, right? I get a notification. So I immediately will visit your LinkedIn page or whatever, and you'll see that I'm also watching you. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. And they'll actually contact me instead of the other way around.
Yeah, very good. And decision is made from there.
And there's the decision to join us. And it's made organically from those experiences.
Yeah, very good. That's
Damn.
Let me just.
Is that spot on or what?
Yeah. Right there. So we have it, people. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's really nice. And then hopefully that's gonna help the people to learn from you.
Yeah, just look on LinkedIn or Instagram. There's tons of different content, and I think every company can create their own content, but it has to be authentic and fitting with your company. You can't just really do whatever we're doing because it might not fit with your company. But yeah, it makes your life a whole lot easier because it gives you a lot more long-term results instead of these short-term quick gains.
Very good. Thank you, everyone. Luuk,
Thanks for having me.
thanks for sharing this.